Holy cow!
See, I told you this was going to happen. See, we can't do this because he doesn't have the letters that we need.
I stand corrected.
I've got the letters. I've got the letters.
He's got the letters.
Got the letters.
All right.
Whoa, they're really
have a seat. Have a seat.
You can really read these too in 3D. I'll tell you.
Well,
Like to read these? Do I read these to you?
Yeah, if you would, please.
Here, hold my glasses, will you? Listen, dear Bob, it is Bob, right?
Yes, it is.
Bob, I think your co-host Pat Berry really looks great with his beard. And
wait a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, Patrick Wellsbury.
Hey, all right. Hey, okay. How you doing?
Hi, Pat. Come on around here. Have a seat here.
I got tripped up in the hall by this weather map I found.
Here, I'll take care of that.
Can I have the letters?
Yeah, you have the letters.
There we go.
Thanks.
There we go. Well, would you continue with
Look at the high pressure system, huh? Can you believe that?
Well, would you finish up with the letters here? Pat?
Should I finish?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Pat.
Pat Berry?
Pat Berry.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead. Give me the letter.
Pat.
Okay.
This is confusing.
You're Bob. You're
Not
the
for
only
me.
Bob.
Why don't you go on to the second
Dear Bob.
to the second letter? Why don't you go on to the second letter? We started the first letter. It was about you, but we don't need to read it.
Are cameras supposed to be that little? Are they supposed to be that little?
It's the illusion from the 3D
okay,
effect.
yeah, okay. Once we have it, like bigger than that, older, I guess.
Okay. Our second letter.
Uh-huh.
I missed the first.
Well,
but Pat Berry was here. Did you ever consider having the real Pat Berry on your program? Tom Sanford?
Bad idea. Boo, huh?
No, I don't think. We
do you
never
think?
talked about that.
No.
It'd be kind of neat though one time.
It would be.
You're missing Matlock tonight. Did you know that? It's a guy with 4 personalities on there, too. So, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right. Do we have any other letters? Let's get them out of the way. I guess we can get on with the
You might want
show.
to get that address, so the next show you might have some legitimate. I mean, have some more letters.
Yeah. This is real though. Look.
Oh, okay.
Look, we have a legitimate letter.
Yeah.
Go ahead if you would read it for us.
Dear Bob or Pat, hi. Pat is my 8th grade math teacher at R.A. Jones Junior High. He's my favorite teacher.
Trying to get it great. Sounds
You
like
know,
to me.
They're okay. He lets us watch the show. I shouldn't read this too loud, should I? Lets us watch
right. Now I know what you do in
show
your
at
class.
school sometimes. I really like the show. Good taste. Especially the home videos. I was just wondering if you could send my friends and I tickets to the show. From Jenny, Sandy, Nikki, and Lisa, thanks. Melissa Carter from Florence, Kentucky.
Sure, yeah. Well, certainly we can. If you're interested in tickets to the show, just
How do you get tickets?
right here to
For
the
this
station.
show? What about this show?
Right to the midnight hour.
How about the episode tonight?
In care of, well, you're a little late for the one tonight.
Good enough.
I think they made it already.
Right to the, Waycross Community Television. In care of Waycross Community Television, 2086 Waycross Road, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45240.
Very good. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, there we go. We
So
got
how
through
you got
that.
tickets, or did you have to like get a bubblegum card or something?
No, they had. Most of them had tickets.
Most of them.
They had
Good
tickets. They,
for you.
the
I'm really
scalpers.
impressed. This is a large audience tonight.
This is a good
I'm
audience.
very impressed, and a good crew, and a great band, huh?
Yeah. Hi, band. We'll talk to them later.
Okay, sorry.
Well, let's talk to you for a while. Why not? Now, you know, when I hear the name Pat Berry, I
think of
can't.
him.
Well, I think of him, and then after I forget about him, I think of the Q102's Pat Berry.
Well, I did work there for 2 stretches back in from 1974 to 1978, and then I worked there from 81 until I took this job at Channel 5 in September of 1984. So I worked there a couple of times, not necessarily 3.5 years each. So I think so. You know, a lot of your age, within a lot of people's age here, they can remember listening to Q102 when I was on there. So that's probably why. Hopefully, more people know me because of what the job I do now.
I'm sure they do.
And doing the weather and the Christmas fun and that type of thing. Yeah.
Sure. And well, how'd you make that transition from radio to television?
I mean, with a lot of difficulty. You mean how did it actually happen?
I get
well.
Right.
You know, I started in radio back in 1968. I started in Springfield, Ohio. Anybody know where Springfield is on the other side of Dayton? Okay, he does. All right.
Few people.
But I started there. I was 16. I was a junior in high school. Just got done my junior year and got a job at the local station. I'd been helping one of the local jocks there. WIZE is the station. I was one of the original Wise Guys. WIZE. You guys
Wise
awake?
guys. So this is all in 3D to them.
I guess. Did you pay a lot for these tickets? Got ripped, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
Yeah.
so So I started job in high school, and then I worked there and started in radio. Originally, I was supposed to be a band director and go to Ohio State University. And somewhere along the way, I got into radio, and I worked in radio for 17 years, all over Ohio and Indiana, and also in Florida. And I'd worked in Cincinnati in 1973 at WSAI. This is back when, everybody remember when Jim Scott was on WSAI?
Sure.
Remember that?
Sure.
He left and went to New York for a year. Remember he was up there? And the guy in New York then, the guy that took his place was Dick Biondi. Anybody remember that? The old Chicago disc jockey, Dick Biondi, did the morning show, and then I did the midday show right after that. So I was familiar with Cincinnati. I went to Indianapolis, worked for a year, and then I came back and they hired me. And that was 1974 when Q102 was the number 16 station.
Oh, right.
And people didn't listen to FM. And I wound up leaving in 1978, and I put on a station licensed to Hamilton, Ohio, which was called WOKV. And probably people don't remember that, but now that is WBLZ. And I was there for a year and a half and put that on the air. And then Taft hired me back and moved me to Tampa, Florida. Those are the people that used to own Q102. And I ran a station down there. I was program director of their station down there for a year and a half. They changed format, and then I came back here with them. So that gives you a little idea. But for the last 4.5 years, if you can believe how long it's been, 4.5 years I've been at Channel 5.
It doesn't seem like.
How did it happen? It happened, let me tell you the story real quick.
Okay.
Am I taking up too much time?
I think we got
Do you
time.
have to go to commercial?
If you hear the music, you'll know.
I used to see Jerry Springer out in that summer when he became the anchorman. Remember, Nick Clooney left, and then as soon as Nick Clooney left Channel 12, they promoted Jerry Springer, who was already doing commentaries, to the anchorman.
Right.
Much to everyone's surprise, including Jerry's. And that summer, I used to see him out, and he said, Pat, he said, I think that we're going to make a change in the way we do the weather. I think it'd be perfect. We need somebody who knows this city, can relate to the people who live in this city, and I think you'd be perfect. And I said, yeah, right, sure, Jerry. But what happened was I actually called a guy. They had me come in for an interview, and I sat around. All of a sudden, I realized these people were very serious about me doing the weather for them. So I wound up doing an audition tape. Had no idea I was going to do one. And I did it in a chroma key. You know, some night you'll probably show the effect of key. Can you do that in here?
I don't think so.
Can you do any keying? But it's that way that they do Superman movies. Superman doesn't really fly. Sorry, she's got a tear in her eye over there. But the way they do it is they simulate Superman inside of a background.
Right.
So I did that. 2 weeks later, or a week later, the general manager calls me. We have a meeting the next night. On Thursday, I signed a 3-year contract, and 10 days after that, I was the Channel 5 weatherman.
Wow.
And our ratings were awful at first. We were terrible. It was Norma and Jerry and Steve Fiziak did the 11 o'clock sports, and Steve Shapiro did the early sports, and we were number 4 in the ratings. Mork from Mork on Channel 19 beat us. That's how bad we were. And we were number 3 at 11 o'clock. And now the latest ratings came out. We're commanding lead at 11. We're tied at the early news. So we're real happy.
Well, that's great.
That's a one long run-on sentence. So everything's great with me.
Well, that covers like most of my questions.
Did you have anything else?
I got it, just about everything on there. What do you do when you're not doing
I do the weather in the morning on WLWT Radio, and in the afternoon I do that from the studio when I'm preparing. You know, I do a lot with the Ruth Lyons Children's Christmas Fund. You've probably maybe seen the games on Access. We showed you my watch earlier. Can you get a shot of it?
Oh, yeah.
I am so darn proud of this watch.
The WLW Coors All-Star baseball
WLWT Coors All-Stars. That's it. Come on down here. You can get in there.
You get in there?
Here we go.
Yeah, that is nice.
You see that? The Gary Waits WLWT Coors All-Stars. Last year, we raised a record amount of money for the Ruth Lyons Children's Christmas Fund, and I can't say thank you to the people enough. $550,000.
Wow.
We've never raised $500,000.
That's
before.
terrific. That's terrific.
And the largest single check came from the Coors All-Stars, $46,000.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it did. So we're really proud of that, and we're real happy with Gary Waits. Do you know Gary?
Yeah. I met him several times.
Yes.
And of course,
well, you've been out to do the games. You've helped out with the games. So.
Right.
And you know the type of level of entertainment is not the, I mean, it's okay, but it's not the greatest.
Well, sure, but it's fun, and the celebrities are there, and everybody comes out and has a good time.
It's fun to see guys like Anthony Munoz come out.
Right.
Boomer comes out and plays sometimes, and Chris Collinsworth, and Jim O'Toole, some of the retired baseball players.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, I like to have fun. I just took up golf, and I fish. Anybody in here go fishing ever? If you got a lake, let me know. I'll come to your lake. I'd love to go fishing.
What's a typical day for you at Channel 5?
Well, at Channel 5, I get in there around 2:30 and start preparing and figuring out what I'm going to do during the 5:30 news. And as I prepare the forecast, and get all the information down. You know, we deal with computers now. I guess everybody in the world does, but we get information in fairly quickly and look at the Washington D.C. well, it's a Maryland D.C. supercomputer. See what they're thinking for us and make adjustments. Make that up. Tell the director what I want to do. It's a rundown. Write up the forecast. Do some maps that I lay out, and those are the maps that I'll go to a computer and transfer. Those are the maps you see behind me. While I'm doing that, I do updates on Gary Burbank's show on WLWT Radio.
I've heard that, right?
And then go on the air, go upstairs to the studio between 5:30 and 6:30. Then at 6:30 I leave and I race out to Forest Park so I can be on a cable access show every time.
Yeah.
And then,
Right.
then I go back and grab some dinner. That's if it's not a bad weather night, like tonight isn't. If it's bad weather or anything, I'm there the whole time. If there's bad weather earlier in the day, I'm there. Because you never know when something might be happening. You need to go on the air. You know, I sort of consider myself a fireman or a volunteer fireman in a way.
Yeah, well, I know you got to get back to do all the stuff you just told us about.
But then we do the 11 o'clock news, and then I'm up every morning, and I do the radio broadcast on WLWT Radio. But I have a broadcast line, but that's in my home. But I've got a weather system there, and I've got computers and all that too.
Well, great, and it's been a pleasure having you on the show.
This is it?
We'll look for you on Channel 5.
That's all
This
the
is
questions?
it. That's it.
Let me see. High school, college training, Ruth Lyons. We talked all about
Thanks a lot.
That's it?
Yeah.
All my time? Thank you.
Yeah.
This is the best cable access show there.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.